Here we go then, time for another episode of my team on F123, and this one is the Miami Grand Prix, and we have a lot to get through with a season break in between the previous race and the next one, so a hell of a lot is going to happen in the changeover. You can see we have 3 upgrades arriving in a couple of days time, a bunch of R&D points and also running costs, and a lot going on. So guys, check out the last episode, link in the top right for Australia. Spoiler ahead, 3, 2, 1. So, first things first is going to be activities. Now we're going to get these on pretty swiftly, and we're going to leave out the marketing strategy conference, which is the one that's going to get left out, but we're going to try and focus on team acclaim, which is going to be the key focus of this early stage. Now we had 2 upgrades arrive, engine pistons and chassis plank. However, front wing gurney flap on the aero failed, so we're going to have to repurchase that one straight away. So we're going to go ahead and get that on the car, and that should comfortably arrive before Miami. Also, we had some points left over, so we're going to go ahead and get some more upgrades on, this time the rear floor under tray for weight redistribution, and that will also help us out quite a bit. And we now finally have enough money after 3 races to go ahead and finally get sponsor relations level 1 on marketing, which is going to improve team acclaim by 10%, which is going to be a massive boost for us. So with that done, we now go for more upgrades. As the more days went by, we went to purchase spark plugs, which is going to add more engine power on top of the pistons, and that's going to bring us also the upgrade in time before the next race in Miami. But we now arrive at the season break, so we take a bit of a breather, and we're then going to resume activities and see what happens when we get back to the office. Now the first thing is going to be a marketing department event, which is going to be for us to choose our rival, which we had both AlphaTauri drivers to choose from. I opted for Ricardo, which should be a fun battle, and then after that we got confirmation of the repurchased aero upgrade arriving on the car. However, the chassis upgrade failed again, so we're going to have to once again repurchase another failed upgrade. We had just enough points to get this one on the car, so that leaves us with 100 points, but that is going to be on for the next race at Imola. Also, the spark plugs failed, and because we just repurchased the chassis upgrade, we don't have enough cash to buy this upgrade again, so we're going to have to get that at some point at the start of the next episode. So a lot has happened, a lot to digest, but crucially upgrades on the car, and we're going to see how that affects things moving forward. Now, as you can see, we are going to jump into the weekend's action, but I don't have a weather forecast. Sometimes it happens, and you can see we have mixed conditions for FP3 qualifying and the race, so no idea how that's going to pan out, but it could be fun and unpredictable, as I don't really know what's going to happen, so we'll see what happens. Either way, as for the R&D, you can see we are still towards the bottom, but we do actually overtake both Alpha teams with the upgrades on our car this weekend, which is a nice step in the right direction. So very happy with that, and that's going to help us out quite a lot. After practice, you can see we also had very average tyre wear, pretty much around 1%. Fuel consumption slightly lower than usual, which is good to see, so we'll hopefully factor that in for the race in terms of our strategy. And yeah, you can see pace-wise, we actually finished bottom, quite a bit off the pace, but Liam Lawson, P11, with his best practice session to date and showing some real pace in the other car, which is a real encouraging sign. So practice done and dusted. You can see here we got a bunch of R&D points, bringing our total up to 1,000. Also a healthy amount of discounts, so we're going to get those all on the car. And yeah, before we jump into qualifying, there is one more thing we have to do, and that is the engine components. So pretty much, as you'd expect, we've been putting the engine through a lot of wear so far this season, doing the practice programs and just generally, simming a lot of them, which does put a lot of engine wear on certain components. Now, the ICE was one of those ones that was really affected by it, so it's definitely not going to help. Either way, we're going to also change a few others like the MGUH and the gearbox, because that's important nowadays, and we're going to have to get those to have maximum performance, including the turbocharger, which is also going to be pretty second-hand. So with that done, into qualifying we go. So far this season, guys, a couple of Q3s, and in the last race we got caught out and knocked out in our first Q2, but I may have had pace for Q3 again, so I'm hoping to get back on it this weekend and get back on the pace. Now, currently on our first time lapping Q1, and we are going to get a pretty decent slice of luck as we place our car perfectly, and we're going to get a very nice slipstream here from Lance Stroll all the way down the back straight, and that's going to help us out a little bit, maybe get us a tenth or so as we head into the hairpin. Hard on the brakes, Stroll tries to slow up the inside there, which is a typical AI trait, but I kind of saw it was going to happen and managed to react in time, and now making our way up to the line. It's a 27.5 for P4 and half a second off Sainz, which is pretty decent, and I'm happy with that banker. So back to the garage, you can see right now Lando Norris has not set a lap. Alonso, Leclerc in the drop zone, so not fully realistic, and those cars will probably be ahead of us. So even though we're P9 right now, we may drop a little bit, and we're only safe by a couple of tenths, tenth and a half, 2 tenths and a half. So we're going to have to just go again to be sure that we can make it into Q2 and improve our lap time. So turn 1, we're going to try it and hit the anchors. The plan here is to obviously start the lap last so that we have margin to back off if necessary. Now turn 1, we missed the apex terribly. Turn 3, we have a massive moment, and just like that, it's done. The question is, are we through? No, we're not. We're P19 and we're out of qualifying. A lot of grid drops, by the way. A lot of pens. Not sure what the AI done. They were all running in a really tight pack on track, but we're out. Just like that. That's absolutely insane. Lando Norris did not set a time whatsoever, so possible car trouble, maybe some sort of reliability issue, and couldn't get out on track. But wow, that is a big one. That is disappointing, to say the least. We made a mistake in Australia, kind of bottled it, had a possible Q3. This was an easy Q2. I mean, very, very easy Q2. I knew I could have found, a tenth or so. That would have been quite achievable, and that would have given us a top 14 comfortably. Instead, one mistake, and we're out. So we're going to have to fight back in the race.
Florida is no stranger to world-class sport, and as of 2022, the USA's Sunshine State is now on the F1 calendar. Welcome back to the Magic City for the Miami Grand Prix. Well, it's certainly not sunny here in the Sunshine State. A lap of the Miami Grand Prix features 19 corners and 3.36 miles of track around the Hard Rock Stadium. But these conditions should prove especially difficult for all of our drivers today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Sainz, Russell, Ricciardo, Hamilton, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Bottas, Hülkenberg, Martinez, Joe, Liam Lawson, Norris, Stroll, and Logan Sargent. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Well, it's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. And judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Here we go then, time for the race, and as you can see, it's absolutely pissing down. Literally, absolutely throwing it down in Miami, which is not something you would expect. Anyway, the forecast is heavy rain for the first half to 2/3 of the race, and then it's going to rapidly dry up and finish in dry conditions. So this will be a fun one, a really fun one. I think we had decent pace anyway, although we got knocked out in Q1. I think I had potential Q3 pace, and the race is usually, based off this season, a little bit slower than qualifying pace, but the rain we're usually pretty good in, so that may provide an opportunity. Now, we're going to see what happens. Fuel-wise, I've gone a little bit under, so practice was 50.2. I've gone for 50 on the nose, with the fuel hopefully being saved in the rain a bit, but I don't want to go too low and take too much of a risk. The other thing I have to adjust is tyre pressures. Now, again, you've got the full setup, guys, with SRC linked down below, and use my code TOM97 at checkout, but we are going to make some small adjustments here on pressures, and you can get the full setup for yourself to have a look. But yeah, we're keeping the dry setup. We're keeping it simple, straightforward, and we're going to basically try and make things work in the wet. What I may do is up the wing if we do a pit stop in the wet. That depends on how the car feels. I'm going to keep it stock for now and see how it holds up. But guys, prediction down below, like the episode, and let's get to it because I enjoy wet weather races. Hopefully, it's a fun one.
So the rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while. Be careful. It's hard to say if inters or wets are better right now.
We'll get the inters ready and we'll see if that helps us. I think ideally straight onto the inter and then straight into the dry. No double runs, and that should do the trick. Decent tyre temp, but now let's get to it, so let's line her up. I'm going to keep my brake bias slightly forward, so 57. May even go 58. But let's do this. First wet race of the season. We'll keep the revs low and not go too aggressive on the engine. Lights out and away we go. We'll take a short shift a second. Switch to the inside. Late on the brakes. Very, very late. Get completely crossed up here, so we're going to take evasive action. Really locking on 57 bias. That is pretty insane. But we're 14th, so we have gained 3 places after all that. Going to push the bias up to 58 just to be safe. But let's see how the car holds up in these weather conditions. Sounds like, based off the radio, this should only get better as the race goes on. So we're going to take a bit of a wider line here to see if I can get the exit. Not bad. Now we're going to see what we're looking at straight line speed wise. We usually struggle here, so I'm keen to see. Although it looks like we're actually holding up pretty well, so that's a good sign. Bit of a too wide up ahead. We're going to go for the lunge on multiple cars. Door wide open. Magnussen and Hamilton. We're going to try and get Hamilton around the outside there, but just no way through, so we'll have to fall in line into the chicane. Still a great start though, up to 13th. Yellow flag, which I'm guessing is because everyone's just going so slow. It's going to be hard to make progress now though, with Hamilton and Sainz directly in front, so we may well have to wait until they make some progress of their own and overtake some other cars, which could be interesting. So we're just going to stick with it and see if we can hopefully have a good race. Oh my god, almost lost my wing. Had to get out of that. Just hit the brakes and the front's instantly locked. It's amazing how 57 is rear locking and 58 is just front locking. If I had 57.5, that would be perfect, but we don't have that option. So just trying to see if I can get comfortable under conditions. We've got a warning for that, but no damage.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
I could have underfueled quite a bit, to be fair. We are saving a lot of fuel right now. Still, it is what it is. Better safe than sorry. Right now, this train is very slow. I am way off the pace in the first sector through those S's, but the rest of the lap we are very, very quick. So that's a good sign. Leaders in the 42s. We're going to be probably like the 44s or something. That's my prediction. But yeah, no one's making moves right now, so it's going to be a bit of a slow burner. Also, Russell, I just realised, is ahead of Sainz, so Mercedes are way, way out of position right now. None of these three able to make moves. I think it's going to be tough to overtake. I think a pit stop could be key. The timing of the switch to intermediates could be the one. I think there's a Williams in front of us, which is causing a lot of this chaos. Also the AlphaTauris, I think Ricciardo's up there. Not sure if Tsunoda is as well, but yeah, I think the timing of the switch to inters could be a key point. If we could undercut all this train, that would be huge. We'd get straight to the points. Okay, a bit of action up ahead now. So Russell going for the move on Ricciardo. Now it's starting to open up. I think there is a Williams in front as well, which is causing a bit of chaos. They're battling with the Alpines. Looks like Ricciardo's going to stay in front. This pace is so slow though. I'm trying to get by, but I just can't quite get through. That's a good exit. But even if I pass now, I'm going to lose time in the first sector. But we'll give it a go. I feel like I need to make some moves now. I think we're losing too much time in traffic. No idea where to brake. I can't see anything. Drifting our way through there. Back end. Completely sideways. But we're through. That's P12. Russell on the outside of Ricciardo. There's a flag. I'm not sure if it's in front or behind. think it's behind.
Okay, the safety car is out. Safety car is out. We need to form up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
Sargent again, the Williams.
Inters and wets will probably have very similar pace at the moment.
That's not the information I'm looking for, but you know what?
Okay, we can take you this lap.
I think it's worth a go. We'll gamble and pit on the safety car. And we'll see if we can hopefully see a weather improvement over the safety car phase. That would be the ideal scenario here. So let's box, go into the inters, we'll be last, but then hopefully we can get the inter to work and make some progress. Here we go. Don't have to respect the delta anymore, we can drive into the pits.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
I took a big risk there. I didn't know if it was a 60 or 80 speed limit, and luckily it was at 80. Right, loads of penalties behind, including Lawson. Cars pitting as well, interestingly enough. 2.4, good stop from the boys. Right.
You only have to stop once now. One stop left.
So back out in inters. We'll see now how things hold up. We're not last, which is good, so this will be a good comparison so far. Even on cold tyres, feels pretty fair. And actually, the rain has just started to drop off a little now. It's not as intense, the droplets, as they were a lap ago. So I think we've pretty much got this perfect. Don't be fooled by the spray. We was behind cars before, which made the spray worse. But looking at the rain intensity, I think we've got a spot on. Also, it actually feels pretty decent on this tyre right now. I can say with certainty it's intermediates. Now, will the AI respond? Will some try to pit? I think, yes, some are. So it's going to be interesting. Because we're going to jump all these cars as there is no more delta limiter. Only a few cars biting the bullet though. Lawson one of them.
Liam is in the pit lane. Liam's in the pits now.
What tyre they were going for? Yep, intermediates. There we go. So we've called that beautifully. The team's getting that one completely wrong. And this is going to put us right up there, you know. And not everyone's pit, so they may well pit on the restart. So I'll tell you something. We have got ourselves in race winning contention right now with that strategy call.
So this rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future.
Here we go then. Time for the restart. We'll keep the brake bias still pretty high. I wonder if the AI are going to just pour into the pits or they're going to try and stay out. Either way, this is now our chance to try and gap Perez. We're going to have to put some cars between us. And yep, some cars are in, and of course some cars stay out, as you'd expect. Look at the grip difference.
Green flag.
Down the inside of Sonoda here. So nice and easy. Let's just try and build up a feeling for the conditions. But you can visibly see the amount of grip we have compared to the AI. Trying to get through Bottas. It's not going to be easy, but we'll just squeeze through. I'll break ourselves just to get that move done. And like I said, we've got to try and see if we can gap Checo using these cars as a buffer, so important to pass as many as possible. What a strategy call, by the way. Absolutely insane. Once again on the back of the Mercedes cars, and we've done a stop, so the AI fumbling it badly, and we've pulled off an absolute masterclass. Right, easy on the brakes here. AI will brake probably a bit earlier than what I would, so we're just going to be cautious. Albon and Gasly. That's the battle that was holding up the train beforehand, and it's doing it again. I was going to go for it there on Russell, but to be fair, broke pretty late. Using second gear to get the drive and the acceleration as we slide through. And now all these guys are going to pit, so that will release us into P1 in this race, which I cannot believe after 8 laps is going to happen. This is giving me a reminder, or give me vibes of that race in the McLaren Return to Glory in Season 1 when we won. You know, it was literally round 4, round 5 of the championship back then in a full calendar season, and we won it. One car stays out, it's Alonso. So, we've now built up a bit of a gap for Checo, and some cars on wets are still staying out, so we've got a chance to extend it even more here. Oops, a bit too much of a corner cut there. You can cut that, but there's a fine line between how much you can and can't get away with. So we've caught up to Alonso. He'll be pitting this lap. Checo up to net P2, behind him now Ocon up to third. So now we've got a gap to manage. Let's see if we can control it. A little bit on the brakes there, locking the fronts. The brake bias again is somewhere in between 57 and 58. Alonso's still staying out. That's an interesting one. I don't understand this decision, I'll be honest. So we're going to have to pass Alonso. Struggling though to get through. I ain't really got that momentum. There we go, now we're through. So into P1 at Miami. Who would have thought that after qualifying? So the chase begins. Let's see. Based off the last lap, Perez seems very quick. So I don't think we're going to have a chance. It's a bit like in Jeddah. You know, we may have to sacrifice a win to get a podium. Which is, you know, realistically something I'll be very happy with. Ocon a bit quicker than us as well, half a second quicker, so that gives you an idea of the pace. So we're kind of working with that now. Joe still out there on wets. Some cars are doing some weird strategies, man. Anyway, there's the gap to Perez, 2.4. We go slightly quicker, so we didn't have to overtake anyone on that lap. That is pretty damning reading. That tells you everything you need to know about the pace. I reckon we can contain Ocon, but Perez may be hard to stop.
On this rain clearing up is about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there, you're doing well.
Okay, that's changed pretty quickly then, so we could be going straight to dries. We may have to take some pain on these, but looks like a straight to dry switch. The track is really starting to dry quickly. Ocon is actually the same as our pace, if not maybe slightly slower. I've started using battery again now, so we dip into the 40s. I was trying to recharge a little bit, so if I had to battle Checo, I can. And he hasn't caught up as much on that lap, so that's a good sign.
The tyre situation's an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got for now.
The track's starting to dry again. We went through a bit of an interphase, now it's getting drier. Yellow flag at the end of the back straight as well.
Okay, caution, caution. Virtual safety car is out. Reduce speed and maintain a positive delta on your dash. Right,
Whoa.
drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
We'll stay out. Albon disqualified. I would have pit if it was a full safety car, but it's a VSC, so of course, might as well stay out. We'll keep the gap to Perez. Not long for dry switch now. Let's get our delta back.
VSC ending, wait for the grease.
Not ideal. Definitely not ideal there. I got caught out on the straight. I was trying to recharge battery using the brake, but still. Didn't lose too much to Ocon, which is the main thing. So yeah, we keep going. Now Checo's onto me. AI as always pushing on the restart. We do have some good straight line speed though, which is very encouraging. So our wings are a bit trim. That's why we're really struggling in the first sector. That means I can hopefully hold on the straight, although I can't brake as late as AI. Checo with the switchback. Bit of contact there. I had no room really. I was trying to hold the inside. We forced him wide and barged him offline, but he didn't really open up the space a little bit there. 50-50.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Main thing is no damage. Another yellow, back straight. Track is very quick by the way, we're half a second up on our PB. Looks like an Alpine or a Williams. No, it's an Alpine because Sargent and Albon are both out, so that's going to be... That's Pierre. Yeah, that pace is ramping up now, so the track is starting to properly dry. So not long, 40-0. Through our tyres imminent. Oh wow. No message for dries from my engineer. They go for another set of inters.
Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Copy.
Here it is. A switch to dries, yellow flag zone. Going to hold the inside. I've not been given an illegal, so we are going to take that advantage. Track still looks fairly damp though. The rain's still falling. I'll box because that's what the team is saying, but it feels like it's a bit premature. Right, don't speed. There we go. Nice clean entry. We've got a huge gap, by the way. Top 4 is pretty much locked in. Here we go then. Let's nail it. Right, come on boys. We're a racing Red Bull here. Lovely. No failures. 2.5 on the money. And we're out ahead of Perez.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Right. Realistically, I don't think we're going to be able to hold Perez behind with the RS, but second place for me is the target, and I don't want to bring Ocon into play too much, so I have to be smart about this. For now though, let's try and see if we can switch this tyre on. It's definitely dry, so way more grip on this one. I really hate how the fastest lap is right on the apex. I can't see that corner. That's the one I'm struggling with, and it's right before a straight, which is really not ideal. Here comes Perez. Going to hold the inside. He's got DRS, but he's struggling to use it. Now he pulls ahead. Down the inside, we're going to hold our own. Norris still on the inters. We're okay through here. Perez goes for it. I wasn't expecting it. I thought he'd stay behind. So we have to hold our own again. Just going to squeeze him out there. This is that AI's best phase. They're at their best in these kind of dry or wet to dry phases. So when it's the other way around, when you're kind of coming down on compounds, they can just drive flat out, whereas I have to try and be careful. Ocon's arriving and Verstappen's absolutely flying, by the way. Don't have a ton of battery now. Got to be careful with how we use it. Perez again here. We'll go to the outside, or it's taking time. We can do this. We can hold on to this for now. It's whether Checo decides to ramp it up a lot. If Ocon were to pass Perez, that would be interesting. Oh, Perez tried to sneak up the inside there. Got a decent exit out of it, but we'll see if we can hold on again. This is going to be the recurring theme every single lap on this back straight. If we can hold on. Checo's pulling out. He's got momentum. And I think this time he may have got it. Trying to get through. We're strong through here, but it's going to be tough. This happens absolutely flying, by the way. Let's see if I can try and stay in Perez's DRS for as long as possible. May even actually getting back, to be fair. That'd be interesting. Here we go. Perez defends. We commit to the inside. Easy on the marbles, easy on the brakes. Nice. Nice move. Oh, a bit wide. Just got a bit of understeer. Gonna get a second warning there for that. This might put us in some trouble. I don't have the battery to fight, although Perez just pulls out. I left the space on the inside there. Ocon's right in it as well. Gotta be careful. Ocon's gonna go for the 3 wide, is he? No, he isn't. We're gonna hold the inside. Perez with a cut back yet again. I'm sweating buckets. Good exit, but Perez has got it really early this time and got alongside. We'll try and stay in the slipstream. Ocon's going to have a look as well here. We'll stay in the tow. Oh, getting all crossed up there, but we just kept under control. See if we can get Perez one more time and get him back. We're so good through here. A little bit far back. Our battery as well. We'll use the last bit we've got. Well, I broke way too early there. Completely misjudged my braking point. I was on the marbles, and that might be Perez through. And just like that, already out of DRS. We just lose too much time in the S's. We're just not fast enough. Ocon is going to get the run here. Going to have to defend the inside once again. Perfect, perfect. Right then, double pressure now. Ocon and Verstappen are both going to look for moves here. We're going to hold the inside line, which they don't seem to like. And then we'll just force them up high. Verstappen's going to make it 3 wide. I'm going to go down the middle and try to hold on. Verstappen goes through on Ocon, although they're still side by side. If they can stay side by side, that would be ideal through here. That will allow us to break away a little bit and get a gap. But I think Verstappen's got the move done. Here we go again. Verstappen looking and goes through. Loses the back end through there, surprisingly, but we'll try and hold our own. I don't have a lot left in the tank. A little crossed up there. Also got no battery for when the AI use all theirs in the last lap as well, so that's going to be a bit of a sticking point. Oh my god, almost got my final warning there. That could have been a devastating 3-second time pen. Trying to stay close to Max here to try and get him back, using the least amount of battery possible that I can get away with. Let's try and break out this time. On the inside we go. Identical braking from me and Verstappen. And we hold on. Good exit. Verstappen matches. We're out of battery, so let's see. Out of juice, out of horsepower here. Just going to try and keep our car central. And now gradually force Verstappen out wide one last time. Down the inside. And that might just do it. If I can get a good exit onto the next straight, we're there. Got to nail this section. That was not very good. Way too conservative through there. Oh, it's a good exit. It's really good. Using all the juice. Verstappen will be alongside by the hairpin. Have we done enough? Look at the overspeed. Verstappen's absolutely flying. Shown to the outside. Trying to get close, but Verstappen just gets it. That's annoying. Just like in Jeddah, man. We're just going to lose it, but it's still just like in Jeddah. Another podium, and we'll take that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a really strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
Well, race done then in Miami. Checo with a very, very good win for him. Also, Verstappen makes it a Red Bull 1-2, and they get all the points as Verstappen got the fast lap of the race as well, so it's going to be a very strong 1-2 from them. But there is some big news. Liam Lawson in the points. P8, double points finish. Liam's first point of the season, and that is massive. Absolutely huge. What a weekend, what a race, and let's just jump into the standings because there's a lot to break down here. So, Drivers' Championship, we're up to P5 with 2 podiums now, which is absolutely mental. Lawson into the top 12 with those 4 points now to his name. And in the Constructors, we're still P5, but the gap to Aston Martin and Alpine is still very, very healthy. Even with Ocon getting some big points for them today in P4, we extend our lead, and we're also not too far behind McLaren, so we're keeping ourselves alive after just 4 races, guys. Honestly, 2 podiums in 4, really, really awesome. What a way to bounce back after Australia. What a weekend, what a race. Guys, if you enjoyed it, smash the like button. Let's try and break over 1,000 likes for this podium finish. Subscribe for more daily F1 content on my channel, guys, as we're very close now to 100,000 subs. As always, a big shout out to the members, and finally check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. Guys, history in Miami. We go again next time. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you soon.